Hello, I'm the Masked Gamer, and this is my review of the Bulbasaur Burger King Detective Pikachu toy. I can never figure out how I want to name these videos. Anyway, I think that this figure may have actually replaced Pikachu himself as my favorite, if only because it takes my disappointment with the Mewtwo figure, and it does the same idea that I think the Mewtwo figure was going for, the idea of the Pokemon being mid-attack, and actually having it work much better. It's Vine Whip this time, which actually is something that I can see on a Bulbasaur figure making sense. It looks a lot better in its pose, and it seems to be a good compromise between Pikachu, which was primarily a figure, and Mewtwo, which was primarily a toy. A larger toy. This one just kind of pins it, so it is definitely on that more of a figure than it is anything else. Though I will say there is a few flaws with this. The screws on this one has screws, unlike the previous toy I've talked about, and they are very, very poorly integrated into the design there, as well integrated as I think they could have been here on the side. And it's only on the one side, the other side doesn't have them. But it does make displaying this from like one side, you don't want to do that. If you want to display it from the side, you would display it from this side, and the back kind of works because it fits into the hole. It's mid-attack, vine whipping enemies type thing. But the best way to display it is actually from the front, which is interesting because the Mewtwo figure arguably looked at its worst from the front. It looked bad everywhere for being displayed, but this one is actually in a pose where it actually works for display. Actually, I was thinking about it because the day I picked this up was actually the day I started my playthrough of Pokemon Leaf Green, and that's actually going to be my first time using a Bulbasaur. And I thought that was actually a pretty fun coincidence. Once again, it's similar to the Detective Pikachu toys of specifically the movie design, where while it is a compromise between the movie and the anime designs, this one definitely does lean, like Mewtwo, more toward the anime. The only real element for certain of the game is actually the very hard to see on camera texture of the figure. There is a texture to the figure's skin to make it a bit more reptilian, but on the whole, it is clearly designed almost more after like a more detailed version of an anime figure than it is of the games, and once again, that makes sense. I would not be shocked if this is actually a scene that happens in the movie of someone being grabbed with Vine Whip, because that seems to be the idea behind this figure's grabbing action. So it's basically a Bulbasaur action figure where the only articulation is the ability to grab things, but that kind of works for a quadrupedal Pokemon like Bulbasaur. I think this figure is probably my favorite now because it's in a cool pose. And what I like is actually that the copyright mess is very tiny, and it's only on the tweezer bits of Bulbasaur's pincers, which actually is super subtle. It's actually much better here than it was on the atrocious one it was on the Mewtwo figure. I'm honestly surprised they didn't put it on the bottom where it wouldn't have been intrusive at all, but who am I kidding? Fun design like that can't happen. The only real downside to this figure I can see is the screws on the side. But with this, I am halfway through the Burger King Detective Pikachu toys. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.